wrote my baby cries and wears me down, but I don't know if I got the baby cries right. But then the last day, but then the day I lost the job, I cried a little, and then I got fried a little. She laid her eyes on mine and said, "Babe, you're better off." So,
That speaks so big. That speaks to a strong woman being in your life.
hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is Greg, and that guy over there, Phil. Phil, what's
Hey,
happening, man? How's it going today?
oh, things are great. Things are great. I got tomorrow off and, just getting ready now. I'm getting ready. I got to start getting ready to go see my brothers. I haven't seen them in 2 years. Going down to Alabama. I got to fly out of LaGuardia. I
Okay.
hope they've made some improvements there. We'll see.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this into a song, right? I'm gonna react to a
Right.
song you're gonna give me, right?
Yep. Yep.
So hit me with it.
Okay. You know the National.
Uh, Recently, I discovered them like about a couple of months ago, and there's a song I think might be on your list for you to do.
Okay.
One of the guys. It's Light Years. It's for someone, but um, because I try not to. It's all these new bands and songs, and I'm trying just to like something I like. I like for the first 15, 20 seconds, 30, and I'm like, all right, I'm putting in my queue. I just couldn't hold back on this on the Light Years. Oh my God, that was so beautiful.
Well, it,
And his voice and the whole thing.
well, the
So
song I'm going to give you
yeah.
is one of my most favorite songs, and it speaks to me directly. I feel like I've lived this song. So,
Okay.
and
Okay.
when I hear it, so the name of the song is Humiliation.
Yeah, no, I don't even remember even like one of the songs that I listened to in YouTube. That's interesting. I mean, again, I'm kind of sucky in song
It,
names, but
it,
I don't think
it's a
so.
deeper track. It's towards the end of one of their albums,
Okay.
you know, but it's a
Okay.
classic. I love it.
Oh,
It's got,
now I'm
I
excited.
don't want to talk too much.
I'm excited now. I'm excited. All right,
Okay.
cool. Okay, cool. Let me go and check it out and come
Okay.
on back.
I survived the dinner and the air went thinner. I retired to the briars by the pool, it gets so loud. If I die this instant, taken from a distance, they will probably list it down among other things round town. Got my rings around me, I got a baby to pound me. I see stars and go weak, my baby cries and lays me down.
I love his voice just from that from the few songs that I've actually listened to, um, and really just Light Years from beginning to end, just that song. I really like this guy's voice a lot, and I love the cadence, right? How he's singing these verses. Wow. All right, let's go.
In the skies over black Venice, I see eyes of a white menace. The surprise of the week is that I never heard the sound. All the LA women fall asleep while swimming. I got paid to fish them out, and then one day I lost the job, and I cried a little, I got fried a little. And she laid her eyes on mine and she said, babe, you're better off. I got my rings around me, I got
That was lovely. I really like that song a lot.
So you had every reason to be excited, because that was an amazing song. I mean, for a first listen, I'm in love with that song. His voice is so good. It's that low baritone
Mhm.
like. Um, there's mystery. There's some sort of confidence. He just kind of like he's just sitting like in a chair and just kind of leaning back. He might have like a glass of port. He takes a sip and then he's just singing those words. It's just very confident and there's something behind it, some weight. There's just I love his voice. I really do. And it sounds a lot like the voice that I'm hearing on Light Years, the song I was talking about before. And I love the music right off the bat, right out of the bat, right out of the box, right off the bat.
Mhm.
Those chords, it's chords that I know all too well. It's a chord progression that you've heard in millions of songs, but I love it. It just had da 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 da, and his cadence. What I also love too is how he's singing those words. It's just the cadence, right? The rhythmic pattern of like the words in the song with the music. It just hooked me. It hooked me,
I don't.
and I didn't want the song to end.
But for me, for some reason, for me, this song, I picture a storm coming, like it's dark and rolling, like the clouds, you can kind of see it. And I, I don't get that he's so confident. I get that he's being confessional, that he's admitting to like some stuff that really, like
So
things that we've all hit in life.
let me just clarify. I'm talking about the tone of his voice, his singing style, his singing, just his
Mhm.
voice. There's something about his voice that just is like this very, it's common to me. Now, what he's
Yes.
singing about, I mean, he's not gonna for a song. I don't, well, some singers will, they'll kind of go frenzied or they'll kind of go, but I think his singing style is a singing style. What he's singing about, oh, it's a whole different thing. Yeah, there's something. There's a storm of brewing. There's something going on. I was writing some lines down. I wrote my baby cries and wears me down, but I don't know if I got the baby cries right. The last day, but then the day I lost the job, I cried a little, and then I got fried a little. She laid her eyes on mine and said, "Babe, you're better off." So,
That speaks so big. That speaks to a strong woman being in your life.
right. And then there were other things too, that words that he was dropping, lines he was dropping, where there's something that has happened to him, something that, is traumatic and that he's dealing with it. And that might sort of be, this is my take. And this might be behind the whole, title of Humiliation.
Nation, yeah,
But
yeah.
he's also talking about how there's someone strong in his life. There's a woman in his life, that is there. I don't know if it's enough for him, but she's trying to be a common influence, and saying it's going to be okay. But then he sings as the free fall advances, right? So there's something that's going on that it's just advances, it's coming. And I'm wondering if it's coming no matter what she says or like that, it's still going to happen.
Hmm.
I don't know if she was kind of trying to console him after the fact or before, they were seeing the signs of something coming, and she's trying to like, prep him up and saying, hey, it's,
You're
you're better
better
off.
off.
Maybe it's a bad job, it's a bad this, it's a whatever. Then this
But
this line here, under the blithering white skies, I think it's white skies, and then he goes humiliation. And I
mhm.
just thought the imagery on that, if I got those lines right, those words right. And I think around that time too, it sounded like a piano type of, like it was like a ding, but then I'm thinking it's a guitar. And either way, if it's a guitar, it sounded like a piano. But it was just beautiful. The music was just so well thought, well structured, organized. Um,
Hmm.
and it was and it had such movement too, right? So real heavy, heavy something coming, right? The storm of coming, and yet there was such movement with the song, and I love that. That was that contrast. So
And they talk
absolutely
in
great pick.
the beginning. Then when they're talking about going to the dinner party, and it's like, oh man. But when I first heard this song, I was like, this song just. I think we've all been there at one point.
So what's it
You
about?
go through these things. You
Yeah.
do eventually come out, but you learn about humiliation, and I don't think there's enough of it in the world today. I mean, it's just there's nothing wrong with humility. You know what I mean? And when you hit these things. And because like I remember being in my 30s, I was rocking in a rolling boy. Nobody could stop me. And I know I was an arrogant fool, you know, and I was all about me and this and that. And I'm going here. And then you get taken down a few pegs. And this song
Yeah.
reminds me of all that. And
I I lost my job 3 years ago. Actually a little over 3 years now. And after being employed for 19 years, and then the company before that, 12 years, I was basically employed for almost 30 years. And then to be out of a job, to be impacted. And
I went through
and
it in
yeah. And
2008, 2009, three
it's like
years.
it's like I went in a time machine from like 30 years back to like at that time, the present time, because then all of a sudden it was like, get your resume together. And then, Indeed, and all these job posting
Yeah, yeah.
sites, and just, and the algorithms. I heard about the algorithms, so that they don't really look at your resume. They just kind of, the algorithms. And it's like, it was crazy. It was like, thank God for the severance. But well,
I
yeah,
didn't
right.
get it.
Because I mean, thank God I had that. I earned that. But that was it was I don't know about humiliation, but talk about being knocked down some pegs, because you do feel like, inadequate. You feel like you did something wrong. I felt, um,
Oh,
yeah,
I took some wild jobs before I got
yeah,
to where I am now. I mean, it was it was a big growing experience, you know. And at the time people were like, oh, it's no big deal. Just open a cupcake store or do something creative. And I'm like, I've been a corporate person my whole life. This is what I know.
yeah.
I'm not handy at all. I'm like all thumbs. So it was just it was
And you
rough.
hung in there, right? I think
Yeah,
when you and I were
yeah.
talking, and you got back,
Mhm.
your career back on track. And the same thing with me. Now I'm 3 years employed. Grateful, and actually
Yep.
blessed
Mhm.
with the job and the company that I'm with right now. But what is this? Okay, so humiliation. But do you know, like, what's the details of the song? Do you know? Like, what's
It's
the humiliation? What is he going through?
it just that he was like he was self-indulgent and in despair and heavy drinking, and it was just I guess he was going through very similar to what we've been talking about, and that's basically what it is. I
Okay,
mean, they don't. This band doesn't really. They're not Flash. You know what I mean? They're not doing soaring solos and craziness. I mean, and he writes these songs, and it's basically all. I think he writes a lot about his personal experiences. Living out in L.A. and I know he's got a wife and kids, and I know he did drink a lot. So the music itself, it did remind me kind of like influenced by Joy Division, kind of like dark and gloomy, and just rolling and you know, and I just connected with this one. I
oh
mean,
yeah, no, I can see the Joy Division connection. Yeah, no, absolutely.
and another thing too. I mean, they're from Ohio originally, the whole band.
Yeah.
There's two brothers, and then there's the singer Matt, and but they're like basically they started playing in New York, in Brooklyn. They were a part of the Brooklyn scene with the
Hmm.
Yeah Yeah Yeahs and the Strokes and Interpol. I could feel Interpol's influence on this.
Okay. Yeah.
The early Interpol. That's what I like, early Interpol.
I mean,
So,
probably because so much of what I listen to is UK music, but I, if you don't really dive into like knowing where they're from, just listening to some of the music, someone could mistaken them for like a UK band. Just they have that sound too. The rhythm and the melodies, and there's just something about this band, the music that um, it's got that sort of similarity with the UK stuff. So yeah,
yeah,
you hit a home run with this. You really
thank you.
did, man.
I hope
Yeah,
I hope that's
absolutely. Out of the park.
okay.
I'm going to take us out and say, Phil, you deserve, a great rest of the night because you did well here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And to everyone out there, thank you so much for watching this. I hope we have a lot of national fans, who just are like riveted by this whole entire discussion and that. And so let us know what you think about the song. What do you think about the meaning, right? And put some breadcrumbs down. What should be the next? What's that next national song that Phil should give me? And with that said, we'll see everyone on the next episode of Into the Music.